continue to have the conversation around insurance. Last week, we had our special report where we went out to talk to some commercial bus drivers about getting vehicle insurance. And there's the number. According to, we even had Intel Point on the show, less than 1% insurance penetration in Nigeria. We really got to work on getting that number up. As far as vehicle insurance, less than 30% is what Intel Point found with their research. So, and again, of course, third-party insurance is supposed to be mandatory. Inspector General of Police says that he's going to have his police officers on the roads making sure. But then as our report found, a lot of folks, the awareness campaign still needs to be improved. So we're happy to have, yeah, there it is, vehicles insured in Nigeria, less than 30%. We're happy to have, yeah, so the data did come from the Nigerian Insurers Association and Intel Point. So we've got Bola Odukale, Director General of the Nigerian Insurance Association, here with us on the show. Good morning to you. Happy New Year and Happy New Month.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, sir.
Now tell us, tell us about the association. What what is it? Who's it comprised of? What does it do, and so on and so forth?
Okay, so Nigerian Insurance Association is a trade body. It's a trade association of insurance and reinsurance companies licensed to do business in Nigeria. And the association was established in 1971 and purposely to advance and promote the common interest of its members. That's the insurance companies and the reinsurance companies.
Okay.
And we do a whole lot around education, around advocacy with governments, around policies and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, principally to advance the cost of insurance in Nigeria. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're trying to advance the cost of insurance, but those numbers are just they are really low. I mean, the 1%, really less than 1%. So what's the problem? Why I think I know the answer, but I want to ask the Director General of Insurance. Why is it so low?
Public awareness is a major problem. Public awareness is a key problem that we have identified. Then apart from public awareness, there's also the education part of it. Some people are not aware at all. They seem not to know anything around insurance at all. Some are aware, but they do not seem to understand the value that insurance creates for them. So those major things are issues. There are the ones that are just not aware, the ones that are aware, but they seem not to understand the value that they can derive from having insurance policies. Then, of course, you have the issues around the culture, around religion, the fact that when you talk about insurance, no.
It's not my portion.
It's not my portion.
Yeah, I'm covered by the blood.
I'm covered. God is my protector. Yes, it's my insurance and all of that. So you have that culture thing. Then, of course, you have the fact that we can't shy away from the fact that when we talk of income, when we talk of poverty, the level of poverty as well, has its own issues.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking of your wants and your needs,
right.
Definitely, most of the time for an average person, insurance comes, at the bottom of the, ladder.
Yeah.
So, and it's still because the value of insurance is not out there. Because if you know the value, if you really understand the value of insurance, you also know that in trying to arrange your preferences, there's also a need to protect your assets. There's a need to protect yourself. There's a need to protect yourself against the liabilities that you may be exposed to at any point in time. So for me, once the education part of it is sorted, then you can come up in the preferences as well. It shouldn't be at the bottom of the ladder when we are looking at our preferences. Yeah. So I think basically those major issues are there.
Yeah, because a catastrophic accident can wipe out a person's assets and you got nothing.
Yes, you got nothing.
I would like for you to get your reaction here. When we spoke with the commercial bus drivers, this one particular gentleman, he really stood out, Armani. Here's what he said. Okay, this is moving to vehicle insurance now, and of course with your data that Intel Point used, less than 30% of vehicles insured in Nigeria. But here is Armani responding to us asking questions about the mandatory third-party insurance.
Our government can just come and tell us that we should have insurance third party by fire by force. If you like, you can get insurance. If you don't like, it's not by force. Because let's assume that something happened to my motor now. For example, no, to my enemy motor, not my own motor. If I like, if I get insurance, I'll call them. If I don't like, I'll go and settle myself. It's not compulsory something that they will ask us to do. Maybe now we don't do insurance now. They say they will be arresting us. It's rubbish. I don't understand. Maybe government wants us to go and steal. I don't understand. All their problem now, they're based on transport people. We should do this, we should do that. Upon what?
Amani there, very animated and passionate, but I was really struck where he said it's not compulsory. I mean, so what do you make of that? What it says.
So for Amani needs to know that it's compulsory. Actually,
it's the law.
By the law, it's by the acts of parliament. It's compulsory, and it's the basic form of insurance policy you could take on your motor vehicle, and it's compulsory for you to have a vehicle on the road anywhere in Nigeria. You must have minimum of a third-party insurance, and it's. I think it's for the benefit of everybody. Yeah. I think one key thing that is missing from Amani's speech is the knowledge, the knowledge of the value of that third party, and the fact that it's compulsory. Of course, he said, if I hit any vehicle, I can carry my vehicle.
He actually said his enemy's vehicle.
His enemy's vehicle.
Not even his own
vehicle. They could go. But you can be in a situation where you're not even able to repair at all. Right. You can, it's not. We're not even talking of just your own vehicle. We are talking of even third parties on the road. We are talking of bodily injury. Right. We've seen situations where people get involved in accidents and come on to pick the person to the hospital. This other person is not able to.
Right.
So those are the things that, the risks that everybody is exposed to, out there on the road. So I think the important thing is for us to understand the value that this third party gives to everybody. It protects you. It gives you, protection against your own liability to third parties while on the road there. And this liability can be, from property damage. It can be from bodily injuries to somebody on the road, to another, driver, even to passengers on the road. Yeah. It could just be anything, and everybody is exposed to this. So it's not a matter of, I will go, go repair my vehicle. It brings a lot of solace. Somebody is able to access compensation. Right. When anything happens on the road. You've seen cases where, a vehicle will hit another vehicle on the way, especially commercial and all of that, even some private vehicles. And the next thing the driver
start
does
begging.
Start begging. Sorry. Some will even prostrate on that and say, just kill me. Just kill me. All of that. Some drivers have found themselves, locked up for days or months in cells simply because they hit another vehicle. Right. Meanwhile, that should not be. If you have your, insurance in place, if you have your third-party insurance in place, we shouldn't, because it covers your legal liability. Yeah. At that point, to that third party that your vehicle has had accident with. Yeah.
I want to move to MSMEs, the micro, small, medium enterprises. Yeah. There was a tanker explosion, I think, in Delta State. And I do want you to pay attention to the business owners there that were calling on government to help them, resuscitate their businesses that were damaged.
I was at home when I had a distressed call. So I ran down to my shop, that my shop was on fire. So before I could get to this place, the shop is already burnt down. You can see my shop under lock and key. I couldn't pick a dime out of my shop. Before I could get to this place, the building is already on fire. So I couldn't help it than to stand and be watching my shop, my Nairas burning down.
I'm dealing with electronics. I'm full of electronics, televisions, fans, and many things. But now, nothing, no single thing come out from it. Fire raised everything down. So I'm pleading to the calm-hearted individuals from Nigeria, for policies, anywhere government to come to our aid, because we have nothing to start from.
I mean, again, I really want to get your reaction. Is it the same? I'm sure it's the same answer or similar.
Yeah, it is, and this happens all the time.
Yeah. These fires in the market.
From the market to the plank sellers to somewhere in Orile to somewhere in Lagos, and the next thing you hear is government should please come to our aid. So you now begin to wonder: is there anything else that government won't do for anybody. Meanwhile, there are mechanisms. There are mechanisms for you to ensure that you are able to manage the risks that you are, exposed to. When you talk of the MSMEs, they are a vital part of our economic growth.
Yeah.
So you really can't push them aside. They are big. It's huge there. That sector is a huge sector. But meanwhile, that sector is also, there's a lot of fragility around that sector. Yeah. So if there is any sector that needs insurance coverage, is that sector. The MSME, they need a lot of that because things do happen. Fire happen in the marketplace, accidents do happen. So a small businessman can actually ensure that he's able to mitigate his risk, he's able to protect his assets with different insurance policies that are out there. You can take a fire policy. You can take a business interruption policy that would help you in the event that there's a shutdown on your business. You can take goods in transit. Somebody who is involved in logistics, is taking goods from one point to the other. You will see them at times on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. And there's an accident, all of the goods.
Right, so
yes, they are on the floors and broken, destroyed, and all of that. And there is no insurance cover for such. So for such, you can take goods in transit that covers you, that covers the risk you are exposed to from that point to that point. For theft of machinery, theft of your equipment, just to ensure that you're able to continue in business, insurance will reposition you, will take you back to that position you were before that event occurred. Once you take up your insurance policies, there are so many policies that are, out there, for the SMEs to take advantage of on their businesses. And it's very key because MSMEs they are quite vulnerable. They're quite fragile. So if there's any sector, if there's any business that needs, insurance cover, it's them, honestly.
We'll have to continue this conversation. We thank you for coming here. This is part of the advocacy, and it's February now. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll see whether the numbers improve by the end of the year.
Hopefully, they should.
But Bola Odukale, Director General, Nigerian Insurers Association, thank you so much for your time. Really
My pleasure. Thank you.